sometimes, I'm reading these goddamn stories, these news clippings, whatever you want to call them, these postings that they've put on these websites, and I tell you, it makes my jaw hit the floor. So it says, okay, this is the story. It's from Insider. It feels like enslavement. This working mom owes $240,000 in student loans. Now she's fighting for full cancellation to live her American dream freely, with quotes. Okay, and not future President Kamala Harris right there. This one. So this Nubian queen, as most of you simps would like to label her, the Nubian queen right here, with her skin just glowing. She'd borrowed 200,000. Let's see. Okay, wait. A California educator says that she owes more than $200,000 in student loans. Well, don't worry, Rochelle. President Biden just canceled $10,000. So now you only owe $190,000, right? Anyway, a principal in now she's a principal. Holy shit. She's a principal and she still owes $200,000. Wow. Has joined the fight to cancel student loan debt for all. She told Insider that a major part of her fight for relief is to give her children a future without crippling debt. Okay, first of all, a couple of things. One of the things, as a black male who's 41 years old, who paid back his student loans after getting 3 degrees, 1 bachelor's, 2 master's, and a study abroad in China, and paid back all of it. I am completely disgusted with every single one of these goddamn articles where they always put a black face on it. I'm tired of it. They keep, why is it that I don't get a fucking article? Why don't they ever have an article? Oh yes, New York City black man who's 41 years old with 3 degrees and $0 in student loans and multiple properties says that student loan owners are whining and full of shit. How come I don't get a fucking article? And I want you to notice a couple of things. They always put a black face on it. If there's a problem, whether it's abortion, whether it's drugs, they put a black face on it, number one, while there's a bunch of white liberals waiting in the background to get their checks. They put a black face on the welfare state, number one. Number two, it's a female face. So it's a black woman. They always put their face at the front of the problem. Unless it's, black men get locked up and go to jail. Then you get to be on the cover. Why don't I get a fucking article? I don't get anything. I get no thanks. I get no hand claps. Why is it that there's no article? 41-year-old black male with an 850 credit score, has $0 in student loans, owns multiple properties, and votes Republican, says that student loan whiners are full of shit. How come I don't get an article? Why don't I get an article? I got an 850 credit score while these people are whining about racism in the credit system. I got $0 in student loans while y'all are busy taking out more money. I feel like Gordon Gekko when I'm yelling at Teldar Papers. That's how I feel. When I raise my voice, I think of Gordon Gekko. So they put a black woman's face on it. Now, in the article, it said working mom. So the next question I have is, where's your husband? You didn't think that you were going to take out all this loan money and you were going to be able to afford it on your own, did you? What happened? Did you listen to that Beyonce song? All the ladies in the day, throw your hands up in the air. Tell me how your angels get down like that. Tell me how the angels get down like that. All the independent women, throw your hands up. You wanted to be an independent woman, right? Now you're going to pay the price. And Biden can't help you. Nor can Kamala Harris. Okay, let's keep reading the story. One of Rochelle Brooks' dreams is to send her 2 children to college without taking out any loans. She knows firsthand how taking out a loan to pursue higher education can amount to crippling debt. Well, let me just skip that first question about where's your husband. That's number one. Let me skip that question. Where the fuck did you go to school to take out $200,000 worth of loans? Did you go to the community college where they have education degrees? Or did you decide that what you were going to do was you were going to go to the biggest, most expensive school that, you know what? Let me tell you something. You know what disgusts me more than anything about, if Gucci, Femi, and Prada had a fucking university, there'd be lines of people trying to get into it. And they got no money and they're signing up for student loans. Gucci, Prada, Femi. That if Gucci had a fucking university, if Prada had a university, if Femi had a university, if Coach Bags had a university, there'd be a line of these future debt slaves lined up around the corner trying to get into it. Just think about that for a second. If Versace had a university and they were giving out degrees in the fashion industry, and I swear to God, this sounds crazy, but what's weird about it is it doesn't sound like it's far off. I could almost see some kind of fashion school popping up with Gucci, Prada, Femi, or Versace's name on that shit. And I could see billions of dollars in student loans just being handed out for it. Anyway, let me skip that part. My daughter wants to be an anesthesiologist. My son wants to be a computer engineer. Two little black kids want this for their future. Here's a question. Where's their father at? Where's their father at? Brooks 35 told Insider, and this country is telling me it's impossible for me to get them there. It's a terrible, hopeless feeling. Where's the father at? Brooks borrowed $203,000, Jesus Christ, collectively to attend undergraduate, graduate, doctoral studies. And over the years has accumulated over $30,000 in it. Wow. You've got more interest than my first car was. So anyway, $240,000, Brooks said. In 2020, she decided to politicize her inability to pay back a loan. So let me get this straight. You're trying to go public and go viral about how you signed up promissory notes and you're not paying it back. Do I have that understood? Did I get that straight? In 2020, she decided to politicize her inability to pay back her loans, a part of the Debt Collective. She joined a group of strikers called the Biden Jubilee 100, really, calling on the president to cancel student debt within the early days of being in office. Yeah. Well, think about it, honey. Well, he's canceling $10,000, right? You've got $240,000. Now, my math isn't the best because I went to a public school. But I think 240,000 minus 10,000 leaves you with 230,000, right? Well, you're getting ahead, right? You're doing well, right? The Democrat welfare state's working out well for you, right? Okay, let's see. My hope is that if my student loan debt balance is canceled, I can start saving for them and planning for their future, she said. But I'm also hoping that we can get a free college education so that I don't have to also worry about how to finance the future either. Handouts. Here's a picture. Black student loan borrowers typically have more debt than white college graduates. Now, I would like you to see this. See, this is how you get catfished online. See, this is her picture right here. But up here, this is her picture. Do you see any difference? Because I see a huge difference. It's like the airbrushing and touch-ups and everything. And yeah, this is a big... But see, here's the problem. When I'm looking at this photo, the thing that's missing in my mind is the father. Where's the father at? I have a father. I got his phone number. I can call him. I take my father to the gun range all the time. You've seen some of the videos. Where's the father at? Maybe, just maybe, you wouldn't be struggling as hard if you had that male figure in the house. Now, that's just my theory. I know that liberal feminism has done everything they could to erase the man out of the situation, and specifically the black man. I know that liberal feminazism, that's my word, I invented that, feminazis. I know that they've done their best to erase black males out of the picture. Maybe the father in this picture is holding the camera and he's taking the picture. I don't know. I'm not there. Somebody's taking the picture. Who's taking the picture? Is he behind the camera? Hey, maybe you should peek out so we can see you. So this way I don't make assumptions. Because it seems to me, when I look at my family and I look at the couples in my family, the married couples, one thing I've noticed is they seem to live better and they seem to live less in debt when there's a father around. One thing I've noticed is when there's a father who works, that the family tends to spend less money and take out less debt. But maybe the reason why you want to rub the man out of the picture is because he would actually not allow you to spend ridiculous amounts of money. That's just a theory. Well, you keep on struggling because Joe Biden said 10,000 and if you don't vote for me, you're not black. That's what he said. He said, if you don't vote for me, you're not black. Okay, so anyway, living in California as a single mom. Why are you a single mom? Why are you a single mom? It's financially taxing, she said. She works as a principal in South Los Angeles, a career which she adores, but she often has to have a side hustle to live comfortably. Side hustle. I hope you're not selling nothing. Oh boy, I don't even know if I want to get into this. With the burden of student loan debt, saving money for the future is not a luxury for many black borrowers. Well, I'm a black borrower. I borrowed. I paid it back. I signed a promissory note. I paid it back. Do I get anything? Do I get 10,000 cash? While you're forgiving these other loans, do I get anything? For me working so hard? I had 3 fucking jobs. Paid back my loans. Do I get anything special? Anything? How about a glass of champagne? Anything? Do I get anything? Do I get a hand clap? Do I get a pat on the head for having an 850 credit score? Nobody offered me anything. Shit, I had to buy my first car. Okay, let's see. With the burden of student loan debt, saving money for the future is not a luxury for many black borrowers. Recent data highlights that black borrowers disproportionately have more student loan debt, on average paying back $25,000 than their white... Wait, something's wrong here. Recent data highlights that black borrowers disproportionately have more student loan debt, on average paying back $25,000 than their white peers. Something's missing here. I think it's supposed to be $25,000 more. I felt something was wrong here because, I'm pretty good at, see, when I went to school, my teacher, they taught us to, what was it called? To, check after ourselves and spell check and make sure that we proofread and all that. But anyway, black borrowers have to take out more student debt to go to school, and black women take out more student loan debt than any other group. Well, why is that? Why are you taking out more than any other group? Can somebody explain that to me? Can somebody explain that to me? It seems to me that if I knew that I was in a demographic where I was going to have tremendous economic hardships, it seems to me the last thing I would do is haphazardly take out more loans. That's just me. But maybe it's because I'm a man and I actually think about consequences. I don't know. Maybe that's why y'all tried to erase the man out of the household, so this way there are no consequences. Maybe that's why. I don't know. Maybe it's why in patriarchal societies we don't see as much of this. That might have something to do with it. I don't know. For a majority of black borrowers, they owe more they owe more after 12 years of being in repayment than they originally borrowed. Well, not me. I have $0, and I make less money probably than she does, but or maybe I make more. I really don't know because they're not going to tell you that. But the thing about it is, whatever. It's a bunch of bullshit, and they got a black face on it. They put the black face, the black female face on it, because that's all they're concerned with. The black man like me with the 850 paid back my loans. What, like freaking 6-7 years ago? I get nothing. I get nothing. I get no respect at all. So anyway, and for black borrowers who pursue want to go, wait, yo, these people suck at journalism. What? And for black borrowers who pursue want to go beyond a bachelor. Jesus Christ, y'all don't even proofread the shit before you publish it, do you? And for black borrowers who pursue or want to go beyond a bachelor's degree, they often, on average, have just over $50,000 in debt, with 45% being from grad school, per Education Data Initiative. Another factor to consider is that black grads are subjected to lesser pay once employed, making it difficult to pay off their overwhelming debt. Well, I have an idea. If you're not going into science, technology, engineering, or math, maybe what you should do is focus on a civil service position. Maybe you should be a cop, a fireman, or a teacher, or something like that. And not only that, maybe you should go to community colleges and get your 40-year degrees like that instead of signing up to get away to go to school, so that all you'll end up getting, if you graduate, is a degree and some massive amount of debt that you're bringing back home, and now you're stuck living in your parents' house. Do you understand what disappoints me more than anything? I've got friends my age, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, still living with their fucking parents. And I think back to the story of the eagles. Bald eagles, when they get ready to have their nest of eaglets, they go out and they get soft materials like feathers and whatnot, and they get whatever they can get, like fur or anything they can find, and they pad that nest, make it nice and soft, and they have the eggs, and the eggs hatch, and they have the baby eaglets, right? So they each and every day they go out, they get food, they chew it up, they regurgitate it into the eaglet's mouth, and the eaglets grow up to be eagles, right? But here's the problem, though. Eventually, the eagles, they realize, they're like, wait a minute. These motherfuckers are going to stay in here for the rest of their lives if I don't do something to get them out of here. So what the eagles do is they start taking away the soft materials out of the nest, and now all you're left with is sharp thorns that poke those eaglets in the ass. Not only that, but they stop feeding them, too. They stop feeding them. The eagles stop going out. They stop getting food for those baby eaglets. And they're like, nah, buddy, it's time for you to go flying. It's time for you to go be an eagle. You got to go out and get your own goddamn food and get out of this nest. When I think about biology class, when I was in school, you remember how they always showed you the life cycle of animals? Like they show you how a fly starts off as a egg, after a fly lands on meat, and then he lays an egg, then that egg turns into like a maggot, then the maggot turns later into a fly, and then the fly repeats the cycle. What does this life cycle for humans look like right now? Is it that, okay, so let's start from the beginning. Okay, so you got two people that have some sex, whether they're married or not, have a baby. The baby starts taking out student loans when it gets older. It may or may not graduate from college, but it still has those student loans. And then it lives with the parent until it's 30 or something. Like, I can't even imagine what that life cycle must look like at this point. I've got friends who are in their 40s still living with their parents. When I was younger, I was like, I can't live in here with my freaking parent. I can't live in here like this. I can't live in mommy's basement. I can't live in daddy's attic. I gotta get the fuck out of here. I moved heaven and earth to make sure that I got my own house, and I got a ceiling fan right there. I'm looking at my ceiling fan right now, and saying, my God, thank God I've got a ceiling fan. I got a ceiling. I've got land. I got parking around my house. I got a yard. I got a front yard. I got a backyard. I got friends who are still in their 40s living with their parents. I got 41-year-old friends living in mommy's basement. 40, damn near 44-year-old ex-girlfriend living in daddy's attic. And I think to myself, I'm like, what the fuck is happening? But I see what's happening because taking out loans left and right, going to expensive schools, debt to income ratio so high you can't pay for a damn thing. Can't pay for a damn thing. Can't get it. See, that's one thing I got to say about these banks. The one thing I like when you tell me what the rules are and I have to work within the rules to accomplish the objective. What's interesting about these banks is, like, Biden can promise all the student loan forgiveness he wants to promise, but the reality is these banks ain't having it. The banks are like, we don't give a fuck if he gives you full loan forgiveness. If your debt to income ratio is still a certain number, you ain't getting no loan. So what you end up having is rallies and protests. Oh, yeah, the mortgage industry is racist. Oh, the mortgage industry is sexist. It doesn't favor single mothers. Yeah, that's right. It doesn't. It's not designed to favor people with shit credit or people who are single moms. It's not designed for that. The banking, let me let you in on a little secret. Here's a secret. The banking industry is designed to make profit. No shit. The banking industry is a business, and it's actually designed to make profit. Now, some of that profit, you'll see the corporate executives making a lot of money driving Bentleys and Rolls Royces. However, the vast majority of that profit is there so that the bank can grow and become a bigger bank. Like, you know how you see all these branches of Capital One and all these branches of Chase? Well, a whole lot of profit was made in order for that to happen. Same thing goes for the gas companies, the oil companies. Yeah, they make a lot of profit. But you know what the point is? The point is because they may not make as much next year. Or so that they can have more gas stations. Or so that they can have more rest stops where you can, gas up your car and get yourself a soda or some coffee or some shit. Oh no, to make the racist! Yeah, so that's basically that's where this goes. Because this doesn't go anywhere but that. That's the reason why they keep putting black female faces on it. So this way they can say it's racist. And if you say, no, it's not racist, now they can say it's sexist. What else? What's next? Biden last week said his administration plans to forgive $10,000 in federal student loan debt for borrowers earning under $125,000 per year, with up to $20,000 in relief for those who receive Pell Grants and fall under the same income threshold. However, for borrowers like Brooks, it's not enough. So you mean to tell me that even with this guy willy-nilly handing out the taxpayer money, you mean to tell me that's not enough? What do you want him to do? Do you want him to take the money that we normally would spend on space shuttles and just hand that to you? Listen, if the government wants to write me, I don't know, a $10 million check just because I'm so cool, is that what you want? I guess that's probably what you want. And you would, not a damn one of you would turn this shit down. You don't give a fuck the taxpayer got to pay for that shit. You don't care. You wouldn't turn it down. Oh, I got $10 million. And then probably within a couple of weeks, you'd be broke. You'd blow right through that money somehow, and you'd be broke again. But anyway, Brooks decided to continue to go to school because she could not pay. You see, and this is it. Career students. Brooks decided to continue to go to school because she could not pay back her loan, a personal method of striking that she's been doing since 2012. However, the student repayment pause during the COVID-19 pandemic has been a temporary weight off her shoulders and gave her a break from attending school. Career students are people who are forever enrolled in school, taking out loans, because when they continue to stay in school, they can defer their loans. Grad schools, I believe, is 6 credits, and I think it's undergrad that's 12 credits. 12 credits makes you full-time. For grad school, I think it's 6 credits, but knowing how these rules change every other day, I honestly don't know, honestly. But there are some people who are referred to as career students because they stay in school, they get all these damn degrees that are fucking useless. Women's studies, botany degrees, animal husbandry, women's studies, LGBT studies. And the thing that bothers me more than anything is that these banks and lenders continue to sign off on this nonsense. Now, they know that you're never going to be able to pay this back because they know that there's no job that requires this as a degree. Now, listen, if you're an optometrist or a cardiologist or an anesthesiologist or something that ends with ologist, chances are you'll be able to get a loan and you'll be able to pay it back after you graduate. But for you to go $200,000 in debt just to be a principal, that's just dumb. I'm sorry. I don't want you teaching my kid economics. How about that? I don't want you teaching my kid economics, and I don't want you teaching my kid finances because obviously you don't know what you're talking about. I mean, I think that's fair to say. I mean, would you want to go to a banker who's bankrupt, personally bankrupt? How could you trust him? Anyway, so many demands are put on me already in addition to having to stay in school because I can't pay this debt. It feels like enslavement, Brooks said. You see? Black female, black face. How long is it until you get to the word slave? Huh? How long? It's racist. It's sexist. But this is what the media does. Now, you're never going to see a story about me. You're never going to see, black Queens male, 41, 850 credit score, multiple properties, paid off student loans 10 years early. You're never going to see that story. You're never going to see it. And if you ever did, nobody's going to read it. They're just going to gloss right over that shit. And they're going to be like, nah, I'm looking to see black people in trouble. That's what I'm looking at. I'm looking for black people who are hurting. I don't want to see black people who are doing shit the right way and getting ahead. Now, I don't want to hear about this black guy who's got his own house and is staring up at a ceiling fan making YouTube videos. I don't want to hear that shit. Oh, no. Show me that black crack dealer who just gunned down a bunch of people so he could steal a Dodge Charger Hellcat. That's what I want to read about. That's what I want to read. I don't want to read about this guy with this 850 credit score. No. I don't even want to know how he got it. No. I don't want to hear about that. No. Oh, wait, what? He's a Republican too? He's a Trump supporter. To hell, I don't want to hear about that. No. I want to hear about this struggling single mama. That's what I want to hear. I want to hear about this struggling single mom who took out almost $500,000 worth of loans. That's what I want to hear about. Right? If I sound bitter, that's probably because I am. So anyway, let me keep going. I really just want the space to hope and dream freely. I can dream freely right now. I'm laying in my bed watching my ceiling fan while I'm making this video on my iPhone. If I want to dream freely, I'll turn over and go to sleep and dream freely. Democratic lawmakers such as, here we go, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Cori Bush, Ayanna Pressley have been pushing for student loan forgiveness. And since Biden announced his student loan relief plan, progressive lawmakers are demanding more relief. Let me tell you something. I'm glad that he couldn't do more. I'm glad. Because when it comes time to vote in November, and everybody really takes a good, long look at the situation and realizes, wait a minute. First of all, I voted for this dude, and this has been the most miserable 2 years of my life. And on top of that, he can't do X, Y, and Z because, most of that is actually Congress that does it, and they're not going to do it. Well, let's see how many of them show up to vote enthusiastically. Now, I mean, he's done everything he could to artificially suppress prices. Gas prices have been artificially suppressed. New York for just for one, we're facing like a $600 million deficit because we suspended the gas tax just to make gas go down like 48 cents. On top of that, they seem to have been suppressing other prices in the market. Because, see, ultimately, when gas goes up, food prices go up. It looks like they've been suppressing those. I was hearing Peter Schiff saying that a number of people, basically a higher number of people, are not only defaulting on their cell phone bills, but they're also defaulting on their utility bills, electricity and gas. I'm not surprised because, I mean, they're putting way more money into their gas tanks than they ever expected. And the government still insists that this is not a recession, which I know it is. But that's just what we're dealing with. I tell you, this is like, I tell you, this is the regular news, and this shit is just self-defeating. It really is. The National Association of Realtors have said that student loan debt's one of the top issues preventing black people, except for me, from purchasing homes, and that also perpetuates the generational wealth issue. Now, you want me to tell you what perpetuates the generational wealth issue? What really perpetuates the generational wealth issue is, number one, more and more black males are unmarried, single, and childless than ever before. More and more white males are unmarried, single, and childless than ever before. The last census specifically said that the only groups that are showing positive growth were Asians and Hispanics. They actually showed that whites fell, and I talked about this in a different video. And you can look it up yourself. All you got to do is go to type census 2020 Asians, Hispanics, and you'll pull it right up. It'll come right up. So whites actually fell back, and blacks only really moved forward just a little, like a smidgen. But the reality is, generational wealth requires generations. Generational wealth requires marriage. If you're having children that are out of wedlock and they don't even have your last name, or if you're having children and you can't even be sure that they're yours because your wife might be cheating on you, I don't understand how you can achieve How could you achieve First of all, understand something. Generational wealth, most generational wealth in this country is passed down through real estate. Parents buy a house, they raise their kids buy their own house. The parents get old and die, and they leave that second house to their kids. And their kids have a choice. Do I sell it or do I make money off of it by renting it out? That's how generational wealth typically works in this country. Yes, there are some families that are so wealthy that they leave behind tremendous amounts of cash money. The problem is with all of these social stresses like drugs, alcoholism, divorce, and first-class tickets to other countries, and Lamborghinis. I can't leave out Lamborghinis. There's a lot of things out there that can basically take all of that generational wealth that you built up and burn it up. Like these kids that you see who show up to these car meets and Lamborghinis and Ferraris and stuff. A lot of that stuff they may have purchased because they got that money out of a trust. Sometimes they got it directly from their parents. So the reality is, if you leave people cash money, chances are they're going to fuck it up. Now, if you leave behind real wealth that can't be wasted easily, or it's in a form where it's not liquid and it can't easily be wasted, oh yeah, that allows for generational wealth. But when you're talking about the average citizen, generational wealth is built through real estate. It really is. A house is the most likely investment that the average American is going to make. After that, you have cars, you have your education expenses, but usually it's a house. A house is usually number one. Well, if you've got to worry about divorce and you've got to worry about all those issues, like me personally, it's like even on my house, there's only one name on my house, just one, mine. I don't have to worry about no chick divorcing me and taking half my shit. First of all, I'm not worried about that at all because, first of all, I keep telling y'all, get your passports so you'll get yourself some foreign, get yourself some nice foreign, because if you get domestic, you're gonna regret it. I promise you that. But the bottom line is, only my name's on my stuff. And first of all these bills were paid by me. And I wouldn't ever put my main assets in the line of fire. I just wouldn't do it. And I think that, unfortunately, that's where we've gotten as a society, where most men are choosing not to get married simply because they don't want to have to worry about that either. They don't want to have to worry about losing half their shit. And they don't want to have to worry about being driven insane because their chick leaves them, and next thing you know, she's with some new dude. That new dude's around his kids, your kids. And, you're only allowed to come over for visiting hours to take your little kid to Little Caesars or some shit, or Chuck E. Cheese's or whatever it is. So the reality is, it's like, you ain't building no generational wealth. You're just not. You're really not. Not like that. So anyway, Brooks called it dream deferred. As soon as we reach one goal, the goalpost is moved, she said. It always feels like we're drowning. And as soon as we come up for air, we're pushed back under again. Well, Brooks, you drowned yourself when you signed that promissory note to go to that big name school. Nobody pushed your head under but you. Okay, she added, when I went to college, it was sold to me, this is a way to achieve success. That's what they told me too. This is a way to upward mobility in this country. You become a college-educated person, and then you can buy a home, and you can travel. I travel business class all over the planet. And I'm $0 in student loan debt. How did you do it wrong and I did it right? How? You're afforded some freedoms and luxuries due to your hard work, right? And it just wasn't true. I think that's why they call it the American dream, because you have to be asleep to believe it. Anyway, so here you go down here. There's a Twitter thing. It says Biden's student loan debt relief plan is a first step in major milestones. Okay, so they're trying to put lipstick on a pig, basically, because the majority of these quote unquote progressives, which in my opinion are nothing more than future communists, they're demanding more out of Biden. Now, never mind where any of this money is coming from. They demand more. The NAACP was upfront demanding more. They were demanding $50,000, and some of them were demanding total forgiveness of people like Brooke here. Okay, wait, let me keep going. It says, in addition to canceling up to $20,000 for individuals that earn less than $125,000, the president also extended the payment pause to December. Right. Yeah. No, let me reread that sentence. In addition to causing hyperinflation through student loan forgiveness, the president made sure to extend the payment pause past the November elections. Yeah, see, when I read it, it makes more sense. The National Association of the Advancement of Colored People acknowledged the progress, but Derek Johnson, president of the organization, called for cancellation of $50,000 or more. I'm tired of this. It's a mental constraint. We're straddled with this balance that is hanging over our heads, and it's heartbreaking. It's emotionally fasting. You signed on the dotted line. You took out this money. You went to this school that you knew you couldn't afford. And I'm drained today, especially because I've been fighting no, it doesn't look like you're fighting. It looks like you're not paying back your bills on time for a while. And I feel like I've been given crumbs. No, you aren't given crumbs. You were given a dotted line and you signed on it. I really just want the space to hope and dream freely. Turn around, go to sleep. So we got some Irish Spring soap ads. Jenny Garth says she's found herself in a really cool space. Elizabeth Warren says she is very worried the Federal Reserve is leading the U.S. into a recession. So that is the state of being right now. That's the state of being. So here you go. Here you go right here. What does her shirt say? What does her shirt say? From what it looks like, it looks like her shirt says "Listen to black women." Yeah. Okay. Well, I've listened to your story, and from the looks of it, all you're good at is going into debt. I mean, you can prove me wrong, but that's what it sounds like. In fact, I would say that what people really should be doing is listening to me, because I can actually explain to them how to get out of debt, how to stay out of debt, how to have excellent credit scores, how to fly all over the world while still saving money or using it as a tax deferment. I think instead of listening to you, I think they should listen to me.